Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of GreedyCraft, where today we're going to be sorting our power issues. Some nice relaxing mining in the nether. Yep. Getting some more Valerium, and this time I'm not going to make the same mistake of accidentally making the wrong alloy. Hopefully. Because yeah, I think we want to make a bit of ion steel. There's going to be some things we need to work on. Going to get some dread steel. What's the blue stuff? Durasteel. Get some Durasteel cooking up. And we're going to work on some bit of power. Since it's like a quest, I think we're going to go for the extreme reactors. And just have a bit of a play around with that. Now we'll have to work on some bit of power storage as well. But yeah. Upgraded my drill with a efficiency, actually a 2 efficiency 3 enchanted books, so I just combine them, and yeah. Just makes mining in the nether a little bit better. Yeah, got a bit of Valerium, and Promethium's reasonably common. Yeah, just doing sort of like a kind of strip mine where I leave like a gap or two in between so we shouldn't miss any ores. But obviously things explode and yeah, it's never as straightforward as just mining. The only other thing I've done in between episodes is I chucked a bunch of stone and netherrack inside this guy, just when I was mining in like a gloomy netherrack biome looking for Valerium. And so yeah, here's what we've gotten so far. And this wasn't quite full, but I think it was like down here somewhere. And yeah, so we're getting a little bit of ardite, a little bit of cobalt. Certainly not enough to rely on for like a reliable source, but we got a bit of iron from that. Should be cool. And all you do is like open up your dank null, grab some of that 21,000 netherrack we got in there. And yeah, obviously going to have a little bit more netherrack than cobblestone, actually out of cobblestone at the moment. But we could in the future look at some sort of cobblestone gen. Like assuming we can get some kind of block breaker and just like set up some water and some lava and oh dear. And then I guess we can have some nether bricks, right? Might be useful for something. Yeah, so we'll just end up with a little bit of stuff. Maybe handy. I mean, it looks like we get a bit of sulfur, which is kind of cool, but nothing crazy. So, yeah, before I start working on the nuclear power plant, so we've got a bit of Yellorium, but yeah, I want to get some of these, the Shining Star thing to get some Meteoric iron. Now, we wanted to... What on earth was that noise? Oh, it's these flies that are flying around. You might remember last time we did actually have a go with the meteor, and we summoned it like way over there, and it ended up, if I can get out of the trees, causing a meteor to spawn over here and destroy the village. And then when processing this ore, I made the mistake of I think crushing it into dust and then smelting it, which actually makes like a kind of glass, not meteoric iron. We'll just run over here. Ooh, we'll go check out this thing. I mean, nothing major. Dynamite? Can we use this? Oh, we can. Wonder if that would be good for mining in the nether. Let's summon a Shining Star. He's going to head right back to where the slimes are, isn't he? Oh no, not today. He landed over here. Cool. And there is a chance that these will just happen while you're like just running around the world. And I've come across the odd one, but at the time it happened, I think I didn't have the mining level for it, or maybe I did, but it just took ages to mine. And we can't craft these fallen star shooting star thingies, whatever they were called. I just haven't had to yet. And I mean, I don't think like this is going to be a lot of Durasteel. And just from reading what somebody else was saying on the GreedyCraft Discord, I think Meteoric Iron's the only one you can't automate with like mystical agriculture seeds. Not that we're really at the point where we can automate anything with mystical agriculture seeds anyway, but something to keep in mind. Okay, so nuclear power. Not this nuclear power. Industrial age over here. So I guess we'll follow the quests because it looks, yeah, we get some casings, so we need to make a reactor casing. Let's make one of these. Do we have this stuff? Nice. Easy. That was simple. And there's a quest reward. We get some more. And a magic temple. They don't look great. I've used one of them before. Okay, so a reactor lever. Reactor stick, reactor controller. And that sounds like a thing we want. And hey, reactor controller. I wonder if this is the minimum amount you need for making a reactor. That's cool. And as a reward we get some more reactor casings. Hey, draconium blocks. Nice. Oh, looks like we already had some draconium blocks. Probably didn't need to convert it to nuggets, but we did. Next, an access port. We are going to need one of them. I think I've made like one of these reactors before. So a reactor lever. Looks pretty simple. Epic loot crate. And let's have a look. I feel like these haven't been that epic lately. Well, I mean, I don't even know what those are used for, so maybe that's epic. So reactor IO. Reactor coolant port. Interesting. We definitely want a reactor sink, right? Reactor fuel rod. Let's get a couple. I don't actually, yeah. We'll have to get the manual and have a look at how you build these things. T4 T series creep. Yep, thanks for making the pack. It's actually a really cool pack. Alright, so we got that. I guess we'll just do these quests because we got them and we get more reactor casings. So reactor access port. I feel like we want a couple of these. Like you have your input and output of items. Like you put the yellow right in and I think we get something else out. So I think you can convert these like between inputs and outputs, right? I think there might be a outlet mode. There we go. Yeah. As I said, I briefly played with this mod. More. Okay. Yep. We don't need that many of your head. And I guess we make one of these, so a coolant port. So either a coolant port or flux power tap. Ah, so coolant port for putting coolant in, I guess. And maybe we want like an input-output. I don't know if that's how the coolant works. Coolant port. This is how we get power out. I don't know what the difference is between that. So let's get a flux power tap. Nice. And you know what? We'll get a coolant port. And I don't know if we need two or just one. Let's go for one. Maybe some more casings. And hey, another aqua base. Yeah, cool. So hey, that's a bunch of quests done for that. Now we've completed 44%. Okay, cool. So then we just need to figure out how we set this up. I have a little bit of a read up in the book, and in fact there's probably a... So this is Extreme Reactors. There's probably an Extreme Reactors book somewhere here, right? The Extreme book. Cool. I have a little bit of a read of this, and we'll figure out how we're assembling this reactor. Alright, so this should be pretty simple. There is like a guide, and it kind of shows you like a basic reactor. So yeah, we might just whip up one of these. Now, if you've ever played with NuclearCraft, especially NuclearCraft Overhauled, don't worry, this is significantly simpler than that. Which has its advantages and disadvantages. I am a big fan of NuclearCraft. It'll look like it wants us to make this size reactor. I guess we'll start with this size, and we'll see if we've got enough stuff to make it bigger. The bigger it is, the more stuff it's going to make. So I believe it was just a 3x3, right? Yep, 3x3 cube. So actually this might look cooler if it was like, hang on. It's going to sit it in the ground, but then it is going to look a little bit funny. So I think, yeah, setting it up here might be better. And do we try and make it bigger? I mean, let's see what it's like. See how much power it's going to generate in its most basic form. So I think this is the smallest one you can make. So we need a reactor fuel rod. So presumably if you've got two, it's going to be twice as much power as a single one. I'm not sure. And this may or may not be enough. Not enough control rods. Our control rod is going to go on the top. And don't know if it has to be directly above a thing, but oh, you can see that changed, and we have a reactor. Just get that out of the way so we can see all the stuff. Yeah, cool. So we want a coolant pour. I don't think we need this. We'll hold off on that. So this is where power would come out. So I mean, like on the back would probably be a good place for that. And access port, yeah, I think we want a couple of these. So one for the fuel going in, which is just a yellow, right? And one for the fuel going out. We can say eject waste. Nice. And this should, like, I think we just have to put some yellorium in this. Like if we put this in here, it's off, so we have to activate reactor. And these reactors don't melt down. Like you don't have to worry about the heat. But you can see we're producing 28 RF a tick. Really? Did you just finish with the fuel? No, you're still running. Like if we put more fuel in, does it? Ah, there we go. That's better. So max capacity is 4 buckets. Okay, so I think we couldn't put another one in. Yes, we can hold 4 fuel. And if you've got 4 fuel, yeah, so 127 RF a tick. That's pretty average. That is pretty average. Let's make this guy bigger. I wouldn't mind having, like, I think we can do this. Actually, we might want to move this too. So if we were to extend him, say another 2 out that way, another 2 out that way. We're going to have to make a bunch more of these reactor casings, but that's cool. Now we do have things like moderators, but I didn't actually see where we find out what are good moderators. Like Like we can't really search for moderators. I'm going to assume like this is probably like a moderator. I don't know where we see that. Because we look in here, other stuff, the coolant system. So not actively cooled, that's like pumping water in and then that water gets turned into steam and then you can like run a turbine off it, which we probably will look at, but not right now. Moderators, usually a rare block of fluid. Only valid moderators can be placed inside the reactors. Okay, so I guess we just trial and error how it works. So I think what you'd do is you'd have like your fuel rods. And then like, let's say if netherite was a moderator, you could like surround everything with that. And it should make the reactor transfer heat better and therefore generate more power. I don't know. We're going to find out. Alright, so it's actually like a good amount. So reactor controller. We're going to need... We'll do it like a kind of pattern like this, I think. Because I think we need the control rod above the fuel rods. I think that's how it works. Maybe I should have checked. And then we could have like, and I guess another one, and then like this will be for moderators once we figure out what moderators are. It said vanilla stuff, so I'm picking like diamond would be a good moderator. So let's get some, so it's going to be 1, and then 1, and then yeah. So it'll be something like that. Yeah, just put control rods everywhere. And hey, that forms what you'd expect. What you'd expect. So we turn this on. Yeah, so now it can hold 60. I'm going to say like 60 ingots of yellowite. So this should make a bunch more power. But let's try and get some moderators working. So if we were to say, grab some diamond blocks. And I don't know that these are moderators, but I guess that would make sense. And it said if they were invalid, it would stop the multi-block from forming. So we should be pretty safe to just test. Like something like that. So that works. In terms of power, I think that is slightly more than it was making before. 149, so we'll turn you off. And this is using the same amount of fuel. Turn you on. Just making like 130 something. Yeah, so that's cool. Now we're all the way up to 150. Yeah, so I think we'll go with diamond everywhere. I do wonder if like Enderium would be better. It would make sense as a cooler, and I did see there was like some of those other extreme reactor blocks, which I assume are moderators. I don't know what else that'd be. And then he's going to be making full diamond moderators. I noticed we got less fuel reactivity, which is interesting. So 165, all right. And then if we were to dump, we probably want an output actually. Output, right. If we were to dump that in there, you're now 100% full. Now we're talking. 2,000 RF a tick, 2,200. Is that going to go up as the heat goes up? Oh, that's energy, that's not heat. So heat's staying about the same, so 2.28. Interesting. No, I don't think we have heaps of yellowite. Like we've got not quite enough to run it fully once this stuff gets depleted. I think we can use the depleted fuel as more fuel once he's finished. That's cool. Alright. So then we could hook this up to... I think we kind of want to go for... Because managing all the power cables and stuff is getting a little bit frustrating. Like, it's cool having all the stuff in the walls. Definitely handy having like the double-skinned wall everywhere. But we do have Flux networks. And these look like the standard recipes, yeah. As far as I can tell. And we did get a couple of Flux points. Like we can get these basic Flux storage things, and they hold... Doesn't actually say. These things are pretty cool. And Flux is... Oh, nice. Huh, this must be like an older version of Flux networks, because it used to be like you'd have to crush redstone with obsidian, but also works with fire. Hey, that's... I'm keen. So we don't need... Oh, the Flux power tap. We're definitely going to want that. That's how we're going to get the power out. Just breaking a reactor while it's running. It's fine. We'll leave you running, because I'd like to see what the fuel does. Like the used up fuel. So I should have some redstone in here, right? 210, not heaps. And from fighting the wither, there happens to be some fire out here. Can we just do this? No. Alright. See, chucking it in lava, but I feel like that recipe changed in newer versions. So let's go have a look. I guess the nether. It's going to be the go for this. Right. So let's try with less, because it's totally not a thing. Okay, I didn't think that was how it worked anymore. Put the obsidian there. We need to turn off our magnet. You chuck redstone underneath and then right click. Left. Wait. Ah, it just went in here. Oh, this is picking it up. You need to not... Alright, is this far enough away? This is. Okay, cool. And you just like... Yeah, alright, so it's just got the tooltip for the old way of making it, which doesn't work anymore. So we can, I guess we're gonna have to go mining for some more redstone because we're about to run out, but if we check this here. Nice. Now you probably could set up some sort of automation that like places obsidian, chucks down redstone, but I found like, unless you're gonna be making like the big storages, it's really not super necessary. Gotta stop trying to double click that stuff in there. So we got some flux. This is going to get us started. There's some components we definitely want to teach, like flux blocks. Yes. These things. Yes. If we're going to know that, then we're going to need to know Eyes of Ender. But okay, so we got these things. We can craft flux blocks. We don't really need to know how to craft... Like, we're only going to make one flux controller? Well, maybe in the future we'll have like a generators in a other network. But this we definitely want to know how to make. So, a flux storage, which means we probably want to know how to make glass panes. So, let's try... Now, does this have... No. Right, so I need to craft some flux blocks. Right, let's just get like 20 of them. Ooh, okay, maybe we don't want to get that many of them. So we need 3 more flux blocks. And we need a flux core. So there's our flux controller. Can we get a flux storage? Oh, hang on. Let's look at these quests. Maybe we get like a flux storage? Was that must have been a challenge, right? Oh, we get more flux. Nice. And 4 diamonds. And for making flux control, we don't get more flux. That's cool. So, I mean, let's teach it the recipe for, and we need some more patterns. Nice, we've still got the stuff for that. Let's go for the next tier up. Like the Herculean flux storage. And I guess we'll teach it the Gargantuan flux storage. I'm not expecting we'll be able to make that at all. That's going to be like a hefty amount of resources. So like we tried to make Gargantuan, we're missing blaze powder, obsidian. Yeah, like pretty expensive. But like a Herculean, missing 2 blaze powder and 170 flux. So we're not far away from that. We just don't have redstone at the moment. Let's just go with the basic one. And a flux storage. Right, and let's grab these flux plugs and flux points. And oh, these are so good. We need to teach the recipes for these, most definitely. Which means we're going to need to know how to make the blocks of redstone. Cool, and we want to store this. Yeah, we're kind of going to want to reorganize our power situation. Let's set this up here. So this is, if you've ever played with Flux networks, it's wireless power. It's so handy for like not having like messy power, like this situation up here. And even like all of these, you can basically replace all of this with like one of these. Like we could put that, you can't put it there, but you'd put that on the power and then let's not accidentally break our multi-block. And they've got like unlimited transfer as well, so very handy. You probably get away with using them instead of like all these conduits. Maybe we could have done that. But here's our flux controller, and let's go flux storage on the bottom, and our flux controller on the top. And we want to create a network. Click create new network. ClassicDuff's network. Security, we'll just make it public. That way, if I do another world download, which I haven't actually organized doing one at the moment, but if we decide to do one, you won't get stuck not being able to access this power. So we'll create this. We now have a network. We can set this guy. Please select a network to that network. And we need to set you to this network as well. And then we want this flux point. We're going to extract power from this machine into our network. And why is that not working? Because I used the wrong one. We want the one that receives energy from the network. There we go. Nice, and this is a transfer limit of 800,000 RF attack. This must be full. Yeah. So he only stores like 1 million RF. We can create some more of those flux things. Like a Herculean one would be good. We're still missing flux stuff, but we can create. Yeah, we could make more, or we could use this because he's holding like 50 million, which is way more. Then let's test this guy out. Let's disconnect you, and let's put this flux point. So what that's going to mean is this guy, when running, is going to be running just off this reactor. Which, have you like finished processing any fuel? Oh, we got three of this, and I think we can use this fuel again. But oh, his power generation actually drops down because he's got less fuel in him. Interesting. If we were to get this guy running, I think we've almost got the stuff. We just need some meteoric iron, which we now have a bunch of. We might hold on to that stuff, but let's just do one for now. And I guess we could put a time shard in. Like, we got some time shards now, right? Time fragments become time shards, which these are a good catalyst. I think they reduce power consumption, or maybe they just reduce this amount of time it takes. Put them in there. He's absorbing, processing. He's using 1200 hour for tick. And this guy's producing more than that. This guy's empty because our networks, we can go to like network statistics, inputting 1.1, outputting 1.1. Alright guys, we have a nuclear reactor. Got a bit of this other ore stuff as well, so we can start heading towards getting some more Aeon steel. I think this reactor would still struggle to power the Durasteel forge at the same time. We also don't have heaps of yellowite, so we might have to look at ways we can get some more of that stuff, and maybe just make a bigger reactor. Maybe look at the steam turbine part of it. Maybe try and make some better moderators. I don't know, but it's going to be cool. Okay, it's been ClassicDuff. You've been watching the episode. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.